was that there happened to be the first class people in Europe who were very rich. Next were the, at the bottom, who were very poor. So upper class and lower class. Okay. Now these rich peoples mainly belong to the landed aristocratic class. And they were obvious, just opposite, they were the small peasants, farmers, casual workers, serfs. Peasants means landless laborers, small farmers. Serfs means slaves, etc. Now, with the advent of Industrial Revolution came the middle class, about which we have discussed earlier. And that is why sometimes it is referred to as the new middle class. Because agriculture happened to be the main economic activity in England, and for that matter everywhere in the world. And after the later half of the 18th century, or you can say the late 18th century, industrialization came up in England. Began in England, and with this one, that class of industrialists, I'm throwing a new question on you. Industrialists, professionals, teachers, etc., that is accountants, etc., they came into existence. These people were, because their production was based on market, these people were dependent on these people. To see the difference, the prosperity, good going, well-to-doness of these people are largely and totally dependent on these landed aristocracy, who were only exploiting them, nothing else. They were only wanting to maximize their profit, they were only wanting to have their own selfish interest redressed and solved, and on account of that one, this section was been totally and completely suffering. But when this section came into existence, these people were producing the things in factory and then selling those things in market, and their prosperity and development was directly dependent on market and had nothing to do with this landed aristocracy, etc. As such, these people were earning money also, living a good, respectable, well-to-do life. Means prosperous, and what is very important with them was they were educated and liberal-minded people. Both these things were very important in order to bring some changes. As I kept on repeating several times all throughout the chapter, that these guys had nothing to do with the change because they were all enjoying the luxuries of life, so they will know, they don't have any intention of making any change whatsoever. These people were not in a position to bring change because they were living the life in a hand-to-mouth situation. So whatsoever is going to be done, this is the only section who can do anything. And thankfully these people were not only, they not only can do anything, but they wanted to do anything, many things also. Okay, and because of this education and because of the liberal mindset, they wanted to bring some changes in Europe first, because they were first in England and then transported to the other countries, that industrialization, so changes started coming in other European countries also. So one thing is for sure, that is one mark question, and I kept on repeating these days once again. Wherever revolution came in the world, it was this group, that is liberal educated mind, liberal educated people, liberal minded educated middle class brought the revolutions. Now the question is, what is liberal nationalism? Okay, nationalism is already defined as a sense of bringing collective belonging. But now coming on the liberal, word liberal came from the Latin word liber. It is a Latin root word liber, which means free. This is, you can make it as your first answer also, the first point of your answer. Now free means freedom, or the liberalism, liberty means freedom. And freedom for different sections meant different things. It's quite natural. Whatever the immediate sufferings we have, whatever the immediate problems we have, getting rid of those problems, solving those problems in a sense is a freedom for us. And in the support of this statement, as I have told earlier also, that if we are captured or imprisoned within this room, for us liberty means coming out of the room, getting free from the clutches of this confinement of this room. Now if we have been moving outside freely, but something more we require, I have given some student the command to go and move freely, but one thing is for sure, you cannot go in the playground to play or something like that. Then some sort of restrictions have been imposed, that movement freely but don't go there. So a person or a student, if wants to go there, is a freedom for him or her. Okay. Similarly, because you see why it is been rooted there. Who were these liberal educated middle class people? They were industrialists, teachers, educationists, professionals, etc. Now being educated one, they were very much upset from the privileges in the society. Because the European society were based on privileges, and somebody were the privileged class. And that is the immediate reaction of an educated mind. All of you are good enough educated to understand the discrimination. Okay. If I am favoring somebody over the others, though everybody sitting over here are doing the same thing and living the life or sitting in the class under the same capacity, anybody if he's been favored by me and continue to be favored by me, the second section, that is underprivileged or unfavored section, they will definitely react if they are educated mindset. Okay, which they were. Second thing, they were industrialists, and their entire income and prosperity was dependent on market. In the market, everybody say the upper class people are also attending the market, the lower class people are also attending the market. But upper class people are attending the market with a luxurious options because of the richness of theirs, and lower class people are attending the market just to survive because they don't have any or many resources, or don't have the money good enough to purchase the things beyond their survival. Even the survival was very difficult. That is called subsistence crisis that we used to, or we had studied in standard 90s. Now from my viewpoint, you analyze, I am an industrialist, I am a producer, and my product is, my prosperity and progress is directly proportional to the attendance of the market. Now market attendance is whose population were, which section's population were maximum in Europe in those days? Upper class or lower class? Lower class. So 90% in fact the people in those days were belonging to the lower class, And these lower class, even going into the market, they have a certain things to purchase, say only food, and that too not in a sufficient quantity. Subsistence crisis means what? The survival is denied even at the bare survival level, that is subsistence level. In order to survive, suppose you need at least one chapati, even that chapati is not regularly available to you, then you are living in a life of a subsistence crisis. And majority of these guys have been doing that. Now, unless these people also don't have the money good enough, then they are not in a position to purchase my product, and I will also suffer simply because I cannot depend only on the handful of upper caste people. Very few people we are there, though very rich, but very few in number. Okay. So, in a sense, you can say my liberalism is also dependent. The concept of my liberalism may be selfish interest, but then even this selfishness is been bringing many good to you people. And how could everybody would be getting the possibility of earning the money by everybody is dependent on ensuring the employment to everybody, creating an equal opportunity to everybody, treating everybody on an equal basis, make a law that must be equal to each and every. And this is what the political liberalism implies. That is mean. So politically, when you talk about freedom, freedom of whom? Freedom of individual, a person. Okay. Now a person's life are mostly dependent on certain pillars, of which three are very important. One is political, second is social, and third is economic. Everybody, how you will be living your life is dependent on the administrative system also, because if they have been, suppose a system is a dictatorship, people were suffering, somebody were enjoying, but then many are people who don't want, you don't have a freedom of speech and expression, you don't want to, you want to say something but you will never be heard. If you are asking me so many questions, then you are not allowed to ask the question, and even if you are pushing hard, then you will be killed, as in the case of Adolf Hitler's Germany or Pinochet's Chile. Okay, so in that case, you cannot prosper, you cannot progress, you cannot develop yourself. So your political system today, whatever the problems you have been holding responsible the government, and government is accountable towards you. This is the two-way traffic. Why? Because you think you have met the government. So because you have met the government, then it is the responsibility of the government also to redress your problem, whatever it is. So isn't it the political freedom that you have been getting is largely deciding your life? You also want employment, you want equality in opportunity. If somebody is a person belonging to the downtrodden caste, they were been seeking for reservations, and these are all the political matters. And in economics first chapter also we had studied that development is not only about income, that we will see that come on the third pillar. Third pillar is the economic one. The income is the largest aspect of our development. Is it the first thing that has been? But then other things are equally important, is equal treatment. So equality, that the freedom, right to equality is actually the political matter. Okay. So politically they wanted a system. So what does liberalism stand for? So liberalism actually came out of the root word liber means free. Politically it implies for freedom of individuals. And equality of all before the law. At that point of time there was nothing, everything, privileges were based on the birth. Okay, so equality of all before law. Now, apart from that one, a representative government they were wanting through parliament, which is only possible through democracy. Okay, people's own government. You are not going to think about me because I am not your people. Your people is only that aristocratic, landed aristocratic class. Who are you? You are a monarchy system of monarchy. So in that system, you will definitely be showing your concern, but showing your concern only for a handful of people who are already enjoying the luxuries of life. So if you want to think about me, or I want you to think about me, then I need to install my government. And people's government is democracy, and that is what? A representative government. These are all the meaning of political liberalism. Okay. So politically it implies for the freedom of individual and equality of all before the law. A representative government through the parliament, and a constitution, and after that privileges that may be merging into the social life. Privileges based on the birth must be abolished, an equal system of weights and measures, etc. that we will be coming on. So these are all the, because privileges based on birth must be abolished is what? Social equality. Okay. So this is what they implies for the political and social freedom. Okay. But very important is economic. That is what I have talked about, the selfishness just a little while ago. These people are industrialists. These people's production is, or prosperity and progress is dependent on market. So that is why these people are required to go for anything that must be economically free also. And in those days, as we know, everything was being controlled by the government. And who was the government? Actually, the monarchy. So they wanted that economically it implies for what? Freedom of market. From government's control or state control. Here government word we are using for democracy, and ruler, that is our monarch or a king for, but a state means the whosoever are they, whether it is a democracy or it is a monarchy, the state is a common word can be used for that. So from state's control, freedom of market, allow the market to behave on the graph of demand and supply, that is on the equation of demand and supply. So if the supply is limited, then demand is higher, the price will go high, and if the supply is higher, demand is limited, the price will come down. So these fluctuations will be decided by the demand and supply equation, and no intervention of the government must be there. As we had studied last year, when the Robespierre became the government, or formed the government in France, that is Republic, what he did, he were forcing the peasant to sell their bread at the price fixed by the government. They were bringing the, everybody was being forced to eat the equality bread. Could you remember that one? So even the meat was also rationed. So one section, because he was thinking that a poor may not be able to do that, not be able to purchase that. So you, the producer, need to come your level or bring your level to the poor level, so that everybody is. That is not a good thing. I think that your level is not good enough to rise high. So instead of bringing myself to your level, that is the decline side. Okay, I need to increase your level to me and even beyond me, so that you can progress in the sky high. Okay. So what he was doing, because these guys are not being able to understand English, so I should speak in Hindi first. Many of them are not being able to understand Hindi, so I should speak in the local vernacular language, etc. Some of them are the Bhojpuri speakers, I should speak in Bhojpuri. So this is what I am doing, is that making this fluctuation, and instead of raising your standard, I am declining the overall standard of the people or reducing. That is not a good thing. Okay. So he told that, sir, leave it. Okay, please don't control like that one. Because we are a business person, so allow the market to behave on demand supply. If the demand is lesser and supply is higher, we would suffer. But the opposite will also be the benefit one for us. Okay. So that was the demand. Economic liberalism is stood for. And why it was necessary, I had talked about that. A separate question was there, the question of Zollverein, formation of Zollverein that we had seen. Because why there was a problem, everywhere you see, everything was being controlled when Napoleon formed that 39 German speaking states confederation, each of them had their own currency, each of them had their own weights and measures, and these all regions were the part of a same territory, more or less in a very smaller territory. There were 39 different regions, suppose. Actually, there were more than 200 or 300, but Napoleon reduced it to make it a 39 group of 39. So, out of this group of 39 German-speaking confederation, even in 39, everybody has their own currencies, their own weights, and so for a businessman, how much a problem it would be? In fact, the example given, a merchant traveling in 1833 between Nuremberg and Hamburg, and these are the two very smaller places, or the two very, two cities of Germany today, located between a very small distance. In a small distance, if a merchant is starting from Nuremberg and wanting to sell his product in Hamburg, you see the problem, because we have already talked about that. When economics main funda is what? That if your business is being expanded far and wide, then only the prosperity and the benefit will be accrued to you. Okay? And that is why the globalization is considered necessary. I had already told that government has today liberalized the policy. The new economic policy is supporting globalization today. The economics you have the third or fourth chapter perhaps. Okay. So that is why the economy today is being made global by the different countries' government. It has a many benefits. It has the benefit for the producer also. It has the benefit for there is a very important question in that globalization chapter of our economics, that what is the positive impact of globalization in India. Out of that one very important answer, the point of answer is that it has created the many new employment generation also. Many new types of the jobs have been created. The data entryman, we have an accountant, we have the call center representatives, we have many such jobs which were not earlier known even, is being created and generated. So isn't it new employment is being generated? Many of you have been earning the money by doing different things for the multinational companies, and your income is contributing to the national income, so the country is also been getting benefited. Otherwise the country's economy would have been a depressed economy. Why? Because the Great Depression we had studied, the unemployment was ruling high in those days. Okay, if you could recall your Japanese lecture, people were hanging the placard around their neck in Nazi Germany and written over there that ready to do the jobs, but the jobs were not available. So in order, who has replaced, or what has replaced that particular situation today? Globalization. Though the globalization has certain negative impact also, but then overall the basic funda of any business is to expand it far and wide. And for the expansion and spreading of anything, you need the simple concept. If a concept is very complex, it cannot become popular and people will try to avoid from there. Here see the complexity. In a distance of say 20 odd kilometer or 100 odd kilometer, a businessman or a merchant from Nuremberg is going to do the business in Hamburg. The difficulty is that they had to pass through the 11 custom barriers. And custom barrier, it means that you have to pay the custom duty, and custom duty, as I have told, is being charged on what? Where? When a product from one country is coming to the product in another country. So these two nearby neighboring cities of Germany today, we have been considered far apart as a country, and in between there were 11 custom barriers. So these and merchants had to do what? They had to pay 5% taxes or the custom duty at each of them, and duties were levied according to the weights of the goods that they were carrying. The another problem, because the weights and measures were also different in all these regions, so the calculation was very cumbersome and very complex, time consuming also. As example given, That L example was there. L means meter. That measure a unit to measure the cloth. Means suppose 100 centimeter is equal to 1 L. This L today is actually meter. Okay. So, but this is 1 mark question also. So 100, wherever you go in whichever part of the world, 100 centimeter is 1 meter everywhere. So a merchant from Godda purchasing 1 meter of cloth and wanting to sell it into England, if the profit is high there, then he will be given 100 centimeter and he has to sell also 100 centimeter. But here was the problem. Somewhere it was 50.6 centimeter, somewhere 52.7 centimeters, like that. Huh? So, and at each of that 11 barriers you have to pass through, and at each of them 5% of your goods. So you see the 50.6, 5% of 50.6. Then whatever the remaining is the 5% of that one. So it is a very cumbersome, complex mathematical computation, and plus by the end of the day, it is not beneficial. So not only complex. So what would they do? In that case, a merchant from Nuremberg would be only doing the business in Nuremberg, means the profit margin would be minimized, or they have to compromise. And being a business group, these middle class people, they wanted these sort of barriers to be removed, and the trade must go smoothly. And consequently, what happened? At the initiative of Prussia, a custom union called Zollverein was met in 1832, perhaps 34. Thank you. And then all these were being merged, so no custom duty, that is all one, united, and the currency of all this, in between these 39 states, there were around about 30 different currencies which had been reduced to 2 only. So these were the benefits, and now the business started moving smoothly. So that is called economic liberalism. So what is the liberalism, sir? Nationalism, isn't it connectivity? You see, one region, now the businessmen of this region can go and connect the business from here. So that connectivity is nationalism. But what has supported this nationalism is the liberalism. Okay, politically you are equal, socially you are equal, and economically also the things were being merged equally and treated equally. Then only. So this is how the liberal nationalism stands for, or is being for. Close this one.